most people that are doing wrong should be in depression, but they're distracted by bipolar activities, and they're manic depressives, and they either do things that are irrational, keep doing things that are irrational because they're addicted to it, or they want to commit suicide, and they're very mentally and emotionally unhealthy. And the main thing that has the most to do with it is bad brain chemical addiction, and then they use Wi-Fi and drugs to keep people caught into the addiction, and then they try to justify their addiction by perceiving it as human nature, and then say that God's an invention, religion's an invention. Forgive debt and trespass, love one another, eternal faithful peace, because the essence of life is omnipotent and omnipotent, and you can't put it in a bottle and sell it. And I invented that. So you got to realize what I'm dealing with, and I understand you guys. I'm these last couple of days just been very depressed. Just shut down. What I'm doing is I'm connecting to communities here in the United States that I've set foot on. That the way I put it is if I ate there, went to the bathroom there, and slept there, okay, then that's where I'm connecting to. And their university systems, through the sports systems, the things that I wanted to do when I was a kid. And we'll focus on that. And I figured the people that wanted me at boots on the ground believed in Jesus, but thought I was doing it wrong. And yeah, and the Quorum of the 12 and Scientology and the Vatican are correct. And then the people that didn't want me in the, because the military, they could have sent me anywhere they wanted. The people that didn't want me there did not believe and thought it was all bullshit. And it is all bullshit. But if you do not believe in the Lord and have faith in God, it's all still going to be bullshit. And the people that wanted the Lord to be right and God to be real are right. But what they're trying to do is they wanted me to be them, and then they try to hide me. And the people that think it's all bullshit and don't believe in me are trying to hide from me. Hey, we ain't here. They're Bert from fucking what's the name of that soap? Invisible. They're invisible aliens. And you'll told Dad about it. Dad said, you talk to people and you say, hey, we should live the Lord's Prayer. It's perfect. It'll help our lives be meaningful, faithful, and beautiful, and then pass it on to our children. People look at you. What do you think about the aliens? I think they're delicious. I had one for dinner yesterday. That's how you want to answer them. You're like, that man's just crazy. Uh-huh. I talk to you about the most sensical, natural, intelligent, faithful thing you've ever heard in your life spoken to you by a human being that you couldn't comprehend or when you read it, right? And then what do you think about the aliens? Yeah, I think they're delicious. I had one for dinner yesterday. What does it matter about aliens? Have you watched animals? Okay. Animals eat each other 24/7 and eat plants. And then plants will devour and destroy the other plants. You watch them, the vogue of the weeds, the yada yada. Right? Now, we understand how nature works in that regard. That's like survival of the fittest. But human beings are radically different. Human beings can have faith in God, understand the essence of their existence, and observe, analyze, and process information faithfully, and then share it and pass it on and have really good existence. We can build a house. We can build it to last. We can keep the weather from killing us, other critters from eating us, other human beings from acting like critters and killing and eating us, Donner Party, crazy wackadoodles. So as a human being, we do have a lot going for us. So people like Muhammad, when they're saying, the human being is a special creation by the glory of God, that's not egotistical at all. Okay? If you're humble and you have faith in God and you believe in the Lord, then you can do wonderful things with your beautiful gift of life and pass it on to people through faithful, holy covenants, making love and having children, right? And then making love and having children y también. Well, it really helped the other night with that Ziz person from Alaska, because you got to understand, just because you're having difficulty being a male and you have your sex organs rearranged by a surgeon, doesn't mean you're a female. Psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, you're still a male. You're just having trouble competing with the other males. That's why puberty is hell and death, right? And that happens for a lot of guys. And then so if you can come up with sneaky, creepy ways, poison from ninjutsu, things like that, to kill the other males you have trouble keeping up with. And so then you try to kill and breed them out. Because look at Kim. Look at Xi, look at Putin and stuff like that. They don't measure up to, they're not the football coach for the Vikings. They're not Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers, Puberty's hell, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, I hated, oh God, yes. Colville. And old Mick Daly and his, big dick contest, I'm a grower, not a shower, and I would shrivel up the moment I got in a shower full of naked dudes. Okay. That was the most unappealing thing in the world to me. If you put me in the other locker room where the girls were at with Trina and Pam and Carmen and all them, I'd be, and what was the other girl's name? She was so cute. She was so pretty. What was it? Debbie Guler. She was a sweetheart. Really shy. Yeah. But she had braces and she hated to smile because she thought people made fun of her braces. I was thought, that sucked. I hate stuff like that. But she was cute. But if you put me in the shower with all of them, it'd be like, okay, I'm sorry, guys, this is embarrassing, but I keep having an erection. I can't help myself. Sorry, girls. But I'm a guy, right? So even in girls that want guys to be better, want to change their sex and be a guy so guys can be better for girls because they understand girls better. But it still makes Chris Montgomery a female. And still makes Ziz a male. Do you understand? It's just the fuck up of human delusion of self-worship. That's fucking everything up. Okay, that's the main cause for homosexuals is people that are bad heterosexuals. Okay, that's the main cause of homosexuality is people that are bad heterosexuals. So if you don't like homosexuals, you're most likely not most likely, you are the cause of homosexuals. Okay, yeah, you don't like homosexuals, you're the cause of these people being homosexuals because you are a bad heterosexual. Okay, you suck at being a heterosexual. You're not like David, not like Solomon, not like Ruth or Khadijah or Esther. You suck at it. Okay. You suck at being a heterosexual. So if you suck at being a heterosexual, you're the cause of people being homosexual. Isn't that nice? Isn't that neat the way that, that life does that? It's like, the answer to the questions in the question, why are people homosexual? Because you suck at being a heterosexual. Yeah. What about them? In a lot of cases, yeah, they do too, because they compare themselves with others. And when you compare, it can be both cases. Thank you, whoever asked that question. Thank you very much. It's not always the other person's fault. It's true. A lot of times it is. Okay. Because when you're a kind, gentle person, you get beaten into a disgusting, pile from Full Metal Jacket, what, And so, but yeah, people can also, because when you compare yourself to others, like Judo Krishnamurti said, Diazadora, don't compare yourself to others. It'll only make you bitter and vain, for they'll always be better and greater and lesser people than you and your finite perceptions and delusions. So just be you. And be happy being alive and being you. I'm watching a foosball game. I'm about to go out in the barn and shoot some hoops. And watching the kids. They're nuts. Yeah. No, I like sports. You just can't let your ego get the best of you. The one kid yesterday, what was his name? A little running back for Oregon, right? About 235, 40 pounds, right? Went in, they gave him the ball for a touchdown. He went in and got a touchdown. And he was very respectful to the Northwestern team, just celebrated with his teammates and went off the thing. I can't remember what his name was, but I was proud of him. I was like, good kiddo. Good kid, He wasn't rubbing it in or being cocky. He was just being, and looked like a lot of Dan's kids are that way. That they have that. It's an Oregon thing. Oregon people got a lot of Oregon people got a lot of John Denver in them. And people are attracted to that kind of environment and culture. Yeah, I've been to Oregon a couple times. Yeah, went to the bathroom, ate, and Slept there. Yeah. Portland. Yeah. To RG and friends. Yeah. Go Beavers. I like the Ducks too. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with the Beavers. Yeah, because they're the underdog in their state. But it's all about representing your community and making sure your community gets what they deserve. If you believe in the Lord, you want to live the Lord's Prayer, you, you're working on getting what you deserve. If you don't believe in the Lord's Prayer and you don't believe in the Lord, well, we're getting what we deserve. Seriously. Apparently, they're either trying to hide me because they wanted me to be them or them to be me, or they're trying to hide from me because they know they suck. You're the cause of homosexuality. You're the cause of sodomy and people's kidneys shutting down from wanting to lick too much clitoris till they die because it feels good to have sex. It sucks. It hurts. The process of dying sucks. And we all die. And, what's the difference if a person gets shot or in a car accident or slowly gets poisoned by industrialization, extortion, exploitation? We're all dying, right? So when we truly live, dying's going to be a lot different. Like with me, I'm not really like into surfing and things like that. Things that, you do and it's to the point where it's like, I could die at any second. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a cliff diver. I'm not what are those things? Hang glider things. I've done this stuff at the fair. It took me a while to get used to them. And I understand the adrenaline rush and all that stuff. But I get a bigger adrenaline rush hanging out with my kids. BRLFQ spells mom and dad, making love with my wife, giving her a bath, giving her a massage, making dinner, eating dinner, planning dinner, picking dinner, those kind of things. A lot of things give me dopamine and adrenaline rushes and stuff that don't need to be in extremes. I'm not an extremist. If I have to do something extremes, it's something like, oh boy, let's not do that again. Like when we almost almost got in the accident in the Barracuda. And so Val's got Earl P. That was amazing driving. And Carol Scott, that was Earl. Did you see what you did? Well, I just looked on the fly and I just did it. But everybody says Jesus did it, and Jesus tells me, no, it was you, Earl. Who was there? Was it you or me? I just help you learn how to do things to keep people alive from crazy people, but you have to get it done. I'm like, yeah, he's right. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace out.